All right. Welcome, everyone. And welcome back to the Cook Islands Survivor, baby.
We're going. We're doing it.
All right.
More Cook Islands.
And if you're new to the channel, I'm a big Survivor fan. Been taking my friend Alec here through Survivor chronologically from the beginning for the first time to get his fresh reactions to it. He doesn't know what's to come. He only knows what came.
It's true.
So.
All very true. Yeah. So it's like I'm frozen back in 2007. I think is when this was airing. 2006 or so. I was telling my dad, because my dad was even trying to be like, he was like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I am going to tell you about what the season that we're watching is. And I was like, no, I can't even know what the theme of the season is, because that's a spoiler.
Not to spoil anything, but my favorite just won the next season.
Yeah, my favorite is
the funniest one.
I was like, no, you can't do that. I was like, you can't let me know what season you're on or what any of that stuff. Anyway,
not to spoil anything, but I want to show you a scene from the final tribal council. That's what my professor was.
Exactly. Not to spoil. Yeah, he spoiled. What was it he said he spoiled for you again?
Breaking Bad. Well, he didn't. I kind of phased it out enough, I think, but he would have if I sat there and watched through the whole thing.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I actually looked up where the Cook Islands are. I didn't know where they were. And they're off. I think they're owned technically by New Zealand. So Cook Islanders, there's actually a bunch of Cook Islanders that live in New Zealand because they have full citizenship. But they also have the privilege of being they basically kind of have like a dual citizenship where they have the full privileges of being a New Zealand citizen, but they also are kind of they're like Cook Island is like a thing. So
it's
kind of neat. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, previously, and if you're interested in watching any of our Survivor videos, we got a playlist on the channel with all of them on there. All the seasons we've done, the first 4 seasons we did reviews for, and then every one since we've done reactions for every episode. So there's a lot of Survivor content on this channel.
Yeah.
And you come back every week for a new one. Previously, Cecilia was voted out.
She was, yes.
Before it was contentious whether Flicka and Cowboy would go one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it was up to Yule and Jonathan to try to convince them otherwise.
Right, and it seemed to have worked. It seemed like it it worked.
Cowboy was particularly receptive to it, and then kind of Flicka as a result seemed to go along with it.
So it's a lot of pairing off in that episode, which is kind of interesting. So
but it was another fun episode. We got a whole new 2 tribes here too. So
they kept Rero and I2 as the tribes, or I2,
yeah. And then Candace got immunity by going to Exile Island, so we have to see how she fits into the group as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Candace from
Raro tribe.
From Rero tribe.
And she's no longer from Raro tribe. Candace from I2 tribe.
I2 tribe.
Yeah. All right, well, if you want to see the highlights of a reaction, click the link in the description, and then come back afterwards for the discussion, all right?
Please do.
Well, there you have it. JP's been voted off. It's redemption for Billy.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit. Yeah, JP getting... Yeah, and then he was completely astounded by the fact that he got voted off. And it was like, maybe, it's early in the game. People will look at anything to try to get you voted off. And maybe lazing around and sleeping the whole time was the way to do it.
Yeah, because it's like people like Adam and Nate, who could have just as easily been a victim of this blind side, were not the choice because you made yourself the easier option by being the basically the figurehead of it all.
Yeah.
And really going all out with the lazing back and telling people what to do.
Yeah, laying back, be like, "Hey, could you give me my machete?"
That's something you can't even teach people sometimes. Some of these people are so not self-aware that they don't even know they're. And it's like, it's true. That's how I talk to people.
It's true that the game definitely requires a little bit of self-awareness. I think that
some people
that
lack.
some people just don't have. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's like it's not always easy to have, and I think a lot of that, especially nowadays, a lot of that comes with age, but it's not always that. It's some of it is just like some of it is just like a good EQ, emotional
Yeah, like emotional
quotient.
intelligence. Yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of the early votes that we've seen were often just because they're like they're being weird, or they're like saying off color things without even like realizing that they're like clearly no one wants any part of it, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
or they're rubbing people the wrong way, they're being lazy around camp, like all these little things that are you would think would be common sense to not do, but this one's a little more strategic, because it was just basically the women wanting to not be succumb to the men who they already showed from the beginning are like sitting. They think they're sitting pretty. And
yeah, they're like, we're the strong guys. They need us around camp. They need us for challenges. And it's like that. Then it's like the women are doing most of the stuff around camp, and
and then Nate and Parvati had that whole conversation in the beginning, talking about the let the king sit pretty, talking about JP. He didn't sit pretty for long.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I guess he didn't need to. But yeah, I do like. I think that in concept, that's actually a pretty decent strategy to have, because if you think about it that way too, it allows you to even be someone as close as like second in command. But as long as you're kind of making that sort of the sort of designation as like someone that's not you. Let them think that they have the upper hand. Let them think that they are in control, and then you can just pull the rug right out from under them. So,
because the leader figure is so often targeted in Survivor, and especially people who are just barking orders and not like there's very few examples of leaders lasting. Like I guess Tom would be one, and kind of Boston Rob and All Stars. So I mean, there's not much. Usually the leaders are like the older guy who also lacks a little self-awearness and emotional intelligence.
It's just like, I'm the man, and this is men get things done, right, boys? And we're gonna make sure that we get things done. That's just sort of like,
there's that type, or there's like the BBs of the world, back in the
BB,
where he's just like, I'm an old guy. I'm just out here. I know what I'm doing. So he's just
yelling at everyone.
Remember, he just kept working. Like he did not take breaks.
Yeah, it was just like he's sweating his ass off. That man. Yeah.
But people often in Survivor, they make it pretty clear they don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Even if you.
I can relate to that more than anybody. You can ask me. I don't like being told what to do a lot of the time. So. That's
like, I guess Ozzy's kind of a leader right now, and was in that tribe earlier on, at least.
Yeah,
and then that's even how Christina and him butted heads early on, is because it felt like he was just doing his own thing.
Yeah. Well, and though at the beginning of this episode, which is interesting, this was like a weird cold open. I guess as much as Survivor can be a cold open, because I always start with the recap, but then there's like a cold open after that where it's all about Ozzy being like, I feel left out. I don't want to play the game. So they should vote me out because I don't want to keep providing for him because now I'm not on top anymore. But then he kind of like killed it this episode in terms of challenges. At least he was like just absolutely destroying.
He's one of those guys who, you put him in a challenge, he's never gonna not give it 110%.
Unless he wants to throw. In which case, he did. He did. He gave 110% at throwing. That's true. Didn't even try to hide it.
He made Billy fall off the log at the end, just for good measure.
Just for good measure.
Thank God he got that dead weight off of the tribe.
Yeah,
just in time to swap.
Hey, now we got JP out of here, so there you go.
Honestly, JP, I'm so glad to see him go. He was utterly unlikable after that tribal council with Billy for me.
He really was, and he didn't have enemy. He didn't really warm to anyone either, considering he was just like laying around being like, I'm just gonna sleep. And they even admitted at tribal council, it's like, I just lay around and I sleep sometimes. I don't know what they're talking about.
flaring his nostrils, getting so mad, you know. And then he's
Yeah.
just like, okay, I got my bros. I'll just chill on this. Those are perhaps some of my like least favorite kinds of players ever. Where it's just like so like he's so angry, and then he's just like, okay, I'll just be a bro and not even like have any subtlety
Yeah.
about it, and also just tell people what to do. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you might as well not showed up. You were never gonna win this game.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being harsh
Definitely.
on JP, but
Maybe a little bit, but I mean, you call it as you see it, and I mean that's what we see in the edit. You know, maybe he's a really sweet, nice guy in real life, but unfortunately,
yeah.
the Survivor editors, if that's true, the Survivor editors were not kind to you. So,
especially when you unleash poverty on the island.
yeah, that's right.
Anything
You're
goes.
unleashing poverty. She is a little cutie, by the way. I love her.
She got that look.
Yeah, she's really cute.
That's what she does best. Flirting is what she does best.
Yeah, flirting's what she does best. And there you go. Now we also had a moment in this episode, a really interesting moment. It was a moment that was like, it was really kind of horrifying, but then ended up being like kind of wholesome at the end. Which was when Cowboy was just looking for eggs. He was basically trying to loot a booby nest, like while the bird was there. And the thing freaked out. He's like trying to like, come on, get out. He's like freaking out, and he knocks the nest over, and then there's no eggs inside. And instead, they find like a newborn chick, like it's like brand new. He's like, man, it still's got that stuff all on it. And I was like, dang, yo. And so they thankfully they find a way to get the nest back up in there. The baby bird seemed to be okay.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
Do you think we'd never see that scene if the baby bird just died from that fall?
Probably. Unless it's like a significant moment in terms of like the turning of like why they hate Cowboy or whatever.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad too.
Of course, everybody talks about the hundreds of birds that are killed off screen on Survivor in the same fashion. But I'm glad we got to see one
live. Yeah. It's true. One lived. Well, it reminded me there were birds that used to live. They nested up in areas of our house, and there was one that like fell down. Through the in between the like walls, and it, like fell down into our basement. And we remember we sent our cat out after it because we couldn't find it anywhere. We could hear it, but we just couldn't find it. And then we sent our cat down there. And the cat, instead of killing it, he picked it up and he just put it down somewhere. And he didn't want to have anything to do with it after that. He just kind of like was like, yeah, there you go. And then we were able to take it outside, and we couldn't really figure out what to do about it because it's like the nest was like in our house. So we ended up bringing it outside, and the mother bird fed it for a while. But I mean, it could have easily, probably the next day. I don't remember what happened. I would assume the next day it was probably gone. So it probably did get picked up by like a fox or something. But yeah,
lovely.
But it's like, yeah. Well, I mean, we tried, and at least the mother was trying to take care of it. You know, so.
It's a good moment. It was a good moment, though.
It was a good moment, you know. It's a nice moment because the bird was clearly like really upset, like because it was flapping its wings and it was mad, and then it was just kind of sitting there, sort of stunned in disbelief until they brought the nest back up, and then it just sort of like went back, sat on the nest, and it just stared at him again until he left.
Yeah, well, Cowboy said he was humbled by the experience.
Yeah,
he saw some boobies, got a little too excited. Classic story.
And we can all relate. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think we can all relate. Boys,
anyone can relate
fellas,
fellas. Everybody loves boobs.
Boobies. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, everyone loves boobies. Yeah.
Stephanie had a moment where she was like, "I'm the weakest link." This is after they lost the immunity challenge, and she's like, I'm the weakest link, you know, it's whatever. And Nate's like, okay, well, we were close, but whatever you say. If you're willing to give up like that, fine by me.
He's just like, see ya.
And that seemingly like that's what happened, and then just no one else had any other conversations with him, so he was like, all right, well, this is an easy vote, man. No strategizing needed. All right. And then His surprise is the one person left in the outs other than JP with that vote. But yeah, so the women, it seemed like Jenny and Rebecca maybe were two of the people spearheading.
It looked like Jenny and Rebecca seemed to be a spearhead, yeah.
So
that would be the case.
And then so from there, it's like they had the few women there, and so they just had Parvati, who they were unsure of because she's the guy's girl kind of girl, you know. She's flirting.
Yeah,
it's what she does best, you know. So
she does just self-proclaimed.
But then they also put a feeler out with Brad. Maybe Brad will come with us, and then
maybe not.
It turned out they did, and then they, like we said, Adam got in the mix too. We didn't even see any part of that, so JP voted out.
Yeah, just like that.
Anything else from the episode?
Challengers are cool. I liked them.
There's a little rope tangle one. There's a
rope tangle one.
Right?
I called that one Pirate Cipher Me. That's stupid. Is it Pirate Cipher Me?
Cipher Me?
Yeah, like it's a pirate's life for me, but it's Pirate Cipher Me. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. I kept trying to think of like a wheel, like rotating, like with the cipher and like an unlock. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. So a pirate made no sense because there's nothing really piratey about that challenge. So it was a terrible name.
Every Cook Islands challenge is a pirate challenge.
It's a pirate challenge.
In Captain Cook's name.
Captain Cook's name. That's right.
And then who would you name as your MVP for the episode?
My MVP.
Oh, also Cowboy did the little fire maneuver.
Oh yeah, the fire whip. He was. Yeah, it's true. He did.
I know you were
That's
really
tough.
thinking about giving it to JP.
I was really not thinking about it. I think I'm going to give it to Poverty, actually.
Poverty or Parvati?
Yeah. Parvati? Because
Poverty is something else.
She is. She's a little cutie.
Parvati.
And, yeah.
Oh, I was talking about
right.
poverty.
Oh, poverty is sad. Parvati.
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 This was the only, season of Survivor was the only place I'd heard Parvati as a name until we watched Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
The Parvati character.
Yeah, and they call her. It's usually so Parvati is how it's usually pronounced. Parvati.
Oh, that's how it's usually pronounced. Do you know anywhere else other than Harry Potter?
No. I'm saying that's how it's pronounced in Harry Potter. I don't know if I've ever heard that name outside of that even.
Yeah.
So.
Parvati. She even got you, and you're not even there. Right under a spell.
Well, what can I say? I'm,
You're smitten.
Yeah, a little bit. Wow. You get a winning smile,
Yeah, well, so does Adam, though. That's his one quality he got going for him.
Adam cheesed it up this episode. It was great. We were both laughing about that.
We didn't really hear much from him. He silently ended up voting for JP, but he's cheesing.
That's called quiet quitting. It's quiet voting. Quiet.
Yeah. Went to exile, and yet I smile.
Smile away, boys.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Next week we'll watch another episode of Cook Islands. How about that?
All right, it sounds good to me. It's been really enjoyable so far. This is another really good episode. So, really solid Survivor we got going on here. No
filler. Say it ain't.
Yeah, been so far, which is great. Which is kind of amazing. A lot of times, like early episodes, there can be a little bit of like, but it's like I'm really engaged with what's going on here. Both tribes too. Both tribes are really interesting. So
nice. So it's looking up. You love to see it.
You do love to see it. Yeah, love to see it. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you for watching. In the meantime, what video would you recommend our viewers watch next?
I think you should go watch episode 10 of Survivor Guatemala.
Of course, episode 10 of Survivor Guatemala. Yeah. Otherwise,
The Blind Side.
Blind Side Nice?
Blind Side Nice.
Blind Side?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jamie voted out. All right, go check it out. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. And if you do, be sure to read it in the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast. All right, let us know if you support poverty.
Wouldn't hurt to.
No one's ever been hurt by poverty.
No one's ever been hurt by poverty before.
Hit the notification bell for more. And click the link in the description for our social media, all right?
All right.